Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to discuss the ultra important topic that is achalasia. It's also known as cardiospasm. Now, in your university exam, you usually get a long question on this topic, especially on the pathogenesis, symptoms, triad, morphological features, investigations. So, we are going to discuss this topic in detail. So, let's start the topic. We are starting it. That is achalasia, also known as cardiospasm. So I will be discussing this topic under following headings. So in your university exam also, you don't have to write your answer in paragraphs. For example, if achalasia is coming in your university exam for a long question, maybe 10 marks, 20 marks, whatever is the pattern. So you have to frame your answer under these headings and subheadings. So first of all, you have to explain the normal physiology of the lower esophagus sphincter. Then you have to explain the pathogenesis of achalasia. Why does achalasia occur? Then you have to tell the types, symptoms, triad, morphological feature. Among the investigation, first describe screening test, then diagnostic test, and finally the complications. So in this way, you have to frame your answer if you want to get a distinction or gold medal in your university exam. This is a pattern you have to write. Not only in this answer, but in all the long questions, you have to frame your answer under these headings or subheadings. So let's start achalasia. For that, let me explain you the normal physiology. Now, can you see this diagram? In this diagram, you all can see this is esophagus and this is stomach. Can you see at the junction of the esophagus and the stomach, there is a sphincter. It is known as lower esophagus sphincter, LES, lower esophagus sphincter. So this is the esophagus, this is the stomach. At the junction of the two, it is lower esophagus sphincter. Normally, lower esophagus sphincter is always closed. Currently in me, it's closed because I'm not eating anything. In front of you, you can see I'm not eating anything. But whenever we eat anything, we swallow anything. So the food bolus is reaching the esophagus. At that time, the lower esophagus sphincter open and it allows the passage of food from the esophagus to the stomach. So what we have learned? We have learned that there is esophagus and there is stomach. Let me draw the diagram of esophagus and stomach. And at the junction of esophagus and stomach, we have lower esophagus sphincter. This is known as LES, lower esophagus sphincter. Normally, this sphincter is closed. There is no space. You can see it is completely closed. So, but whenever we eat anything and we swallow anything, even the saliva also, whenever we swallow anything, at that time LES open and it allows the passage of the food from the esophagus to the stomach. Now, so normally it is always closed and at the time of the swallow it open. So who is causing the opening and closing of LES? So there are neurotransmitters. So there are two type of neurotransmitters having role here. So there is a neurotransmitter known as acetylcholine. Acetylcholine causes the contraction because of which it can close. And there is another neurotransmitter known as nitric oxide. This neurotransmitter causes relaxation and because of which it open. So currently I'm not eating anything. So in my LES, the acetylcholine is functional and it is causing the contraction of LES and my LES is closed. But if I start eating anything, chewing anything and swallowing anything, at that time NO will come in the role. So NO will relax my LES and it will open. So this is the thing we have learned, the first thing. So normally the LES is closed, but during swallowing it opens. Now you can see the person is eating the food bolus is going ahead. And when the food bolus is going ahead, at that time, you can see, appreciate here, the LES is opening and allowing the passage of the food from the esophagus to the stomach. You can see this in this video, very clearly visible. Can you see the food bolus is coming from upwards? Can you see as soon as the food bolus is coming, you can see the LES is opening. It is allowing the passage of the food from the esophagus to the stomach. So when the food bolus is not there, acetylcholine is there. And when food bolus is coming, at that time, nitric oxide is opening it. So this is the function of the LES. Now, one more thing you have to understand is the peristalsis. What do you mean by peristalsis? You know, peristaltic wave is there in the entire GIT. So it is there in the esophagus also. So let me draw esophagus and let me draw stomach for you. Can you see? So as we eat the food, whenever we eat the food, now there is a food bolus in the lumen of the esophagus. So how does the food bolus propagate ahead? How does it goes ahead? So it goes ahead with the help of the peristaltic wave. So here the wave of peristalsis is generated and that propagate the bolus of the food bolus into the stomach.